It's been the ongoing saga, complete with all the weird twists and turns you'd expect from anything involving Jim Irsay. He met with Jonathan Taylor last week, where they were talking about a contract extension because the Colts running back is going into the last year of his deal. They never came to an agreement. And then it came out that Jonathan Taylor had asked for a trade. Jim Irsay texts Albert Breer of the MMQB over the weekend, said, quote, "We're not trading Jonathan, end of discussion, not now, not in October." Okay. Then we've got to escalate this even more with Irsay just going totally bizarre on us. I mean, and that's saying something. And we're going to get to the quote in a second, but may I just say something before we start talking about, like, the real nitty-gritty of this thing? Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but here's how I like my sports owners. Mm-hmm. Mouth shut, wallet open. And we laugh at Jerry Jones, or, like, you know, we hang on his every word sometimes. And Jim Irsay is kind of odd, and other owner Mark Davis makes an appearance every now and then. But to be honest, I'd rather never hear from an owner of a team, never hear from them. Mouth shut, wallet open, thank you, and I'll pay for my tickets, and you can stay up there in your luxury suite.
That's weird. I didn't know you had a problem with owners.
One or two.
I totally disagree. I don't want wallet open because I want to win football games, and wallet open doesn't work in the NFL. You got to be like the Patriots, who could, famously wallet close. Don't pay anybody. It's the only way to win in the NFL, unfortunately. And
doesn't sound right.
Sadly, it's not baseball where there's a soft cap or no cap. Jim Irsay is probably right to play hardball here with Jonathan Taylor. You got to read the room around the NFL. You're not going to pay Jonathan Taylor right now. It wouldn't make any sense. The problem is he didn't need to say that. He could have said it diplomatically. But does the bottom line change? Jonathan Taylor wants out because they're not going to give him an extension. If the Colts are smart, they're not going to give him an extension. There's just no reason to pay him right now.
So here is Jim Irsay in the bizarro way he decided to frame this situation.
If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. I mean, we know that. The National Football rolls on. It doesn't matter, who comes and who goes. Now's the time, for us to do our work.
Convenient. A very convenient time to pull the "you're replaceable and you're lucky just to have this job" right when a guy is going into the last year of his deal in a position that's brutal, where he's already gotten hurt a little bit and had off-season surgery, and now is what a convenient time to bring up it only matters the front of the jersey instead of the back of the jersey. That is only convenient for Jim Irsay right there at this time.
Jim Irsay just said he himself was expendable. This has nothing to do with. He's even admitting that I'm expendable, so I can't blame him for that. You're saying it's convenient to say Jonathan Taylor's expendable. How about the fact that he admitted the owners are expendable?
Yeah, but the thing is nobody's showing up ever to watch Jim Irsay. He's expendable because nobody cares about owners enough.
Yeah, and nobody cares about running backs. No one's showing up to watch Jonathan Taylor.
Then why should any Colts fan want to buy tickets? I mean,
because they have the truth under center.
Okay, why did they want to buy tickets last year or the year before that, where Jonathan Taylor was the offense for the most part?
He had 1 year, first of all, and the Colts have been basically a winning franchise for 2 decades now. So that's why they bought tickets to win football games. The bottom line is winning football games. I don't mind Irsay's hard stance here, and I don't think that the fact that he said that he himself was expendable makes it excusable that he said Jonathan Taylor was expendable. And I got news for you, Maggie. He is. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't report this year, the NFL ratings are still going to be just as high as ever.
Okay, this isn't about ratings, though. You just said this is about football games. And right today, the Indianapolis Colts backup running back in Zach Moss just broke his arm. So now you could be out Taylor and you're going to be out Moss, and you have a rookie quarterback who, by the way, Anthony Richardson had surgery today on his nose. It's not expected to keep him out for very long. But just to let you show you that you have a rookie quarterback who you're insisting takes all the first team snaps. He's going to play. You're going to hit the ground running with him. What's the one thing that can really help a rookie quarterback? A run game.
But okay. First of all, that sounds good, but are we going to really have a run game if the offensive line gets hurt again? Last year they had a run game and they were terrible. I mean, they had Jonathan Taylor.
Not everyone's expendable. See,
the line is not expendable. The offensive line is absolutely not expendable.
See, but the thing is about Irsay,
running backs are expendable, and you know that's true.
I know, but for Irsay, first of all, the fact that it got to where it's gotten to, right? Like you have this like open feud going on with your star running back. Nothing has changed since the end of the year. Everyone knew he was going into this year. It was going to be the last year. And do you think that Jonathan Taylor or any player, look at Zach Martin, look at Nick Bosa, nobody wants to go into the last year of your deal with nothing on the other side?
Right. So the only thing that's different about this situation is Irsay with the overly candid comments.
Yeah.
Is there any difference, really? I mean, Saquon Barkley is dissatisfied. I know he signed a one-year deal.
Yeah.
He's dissatisfied with the Giants. Josh Jacobs is mad at the Raiders. Jonathan Taylor was going to be mad at the Colts no matter what happened here because he wants $16 million a year. That is not happening in today's NFL. And if he's so great, then how come they were I know he hurt his ankle last year.
Yeah.
But you saw
That's
it.
Why.
When the offensive line went down, Jonathan Taylor's just another guy. And when Zach Moss, who broke his arm, came in, he looked really good for Jonathan Taylor. Had the best yards per carry of his entire life. It makes me think maybe running backs are a bit generic. And the other thing, too, is you have a quarterback who's going to presumably run all the time.
Right.
Like you're not going to be handing, Anthony Richardson's not always going to be handing the ball off. He's going to be doing a lot of running. I watched this weekend, the NFL Network was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
They did all their coverage with Daniel Jeremiah there. Just watching Anthony Richardson throw on the sideline is thrilling. I mean, the guy, he's bigger, stronger, faster than any quarterback of all time. Apparently put on 10 pounds since the combine. He's just a marvel. So why he doesn't need Jonathan Taylor. He can just run it himself.
Okay. Well, let's pump the brakes on whether or not he needs to have a running game because it really changes a lot when you're actually doing full speed. The opponent's trying to take your head off. You're a rookie out there who can't complete 50% of his passes in college, basically. And if everyone knows you're either running or passing, then you're going to be left out to dry. Now,
it can help whatever running back is back there because the defense doesn't know if Richardson's going to carry the ball or if the running back's going to carry the ball. So I don't know. You need to pay $16 million to Jonathan Taylor in that spot.
No one's saying that you have to pay him $16 million, but I also think that the Colts can be criticized here for letting it get to this stage. Right?
What were they going to do?
If you knew he wanted to be traded, you probably could have traded him.
No one's going to trade for. No one wants Jonathan Taylor. There are 31 other teams who have no interest in paying Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I didn't say you had to pay him $16 million. That's probably off the table. But if he wants to be traded, then I'm sure to have this whole thing come to a head now, it just feels like you created a distraction. You brought it on yourself. If you knew he was this upset about it, which I'm sure he hasn't been hiding, then why not try to do something about it if running backs are so expendable and you can just float one in after the other, then trade Jonathan Taylor?
It's same issue in New York with Saquon. It's same issue in Vegas with Josh Jacobs. There's nothing to do here. Nobody's going to trade for Jonathan Taylor. No one's going to give up a real asset for him because nobody wants to pay him. I'm sorry. It's just the only difference is Irsay's sort of outlandish quotes. Otherwise, it's the same situation we're seeing play out all over the NFL.
And I think it's disingenuous for Irsay when he's like, it's just like me if I die tomorrow, and if Jonathan Taylor isn't here, no one's going to care. The thing is no one's I'm not saying this as a man. I'm not saying this as a human being. I'm saying as an owner. No one's supposed to care if you're here tomorrow, right? I'm sorry, we're not fans. We're not supposed to care where the owners are and what they're up to. We're supposed to care about the players. That's who we care about. That's why we buy their jerseys, and that's why we buy tickets to watch the game. All due respect to Jim Irsay, again, I'm not saying this about him as a person. Everyone is, we're all unique in our own way and we're all valuable. But as a person, I don't care about Jim Irsay as being the owner. I don't care about any owners.
Right, but
I care about the players.
Do you care about real talk? Do you care about any single NFL player? Is there a player maybe other than Patrick Mahomes who's going to move the needle if he's not there this year? The NFL is going to roll along just fine.
The Bengals are talking about Joe Burrow's the one guy who can't be replaced.
Joe Burrow might be back by week 2. You honestly think the NFL is going to I'll actually be back by week 1. There's no problems with the NFL. Tom Brady broke his leg, and you think ratings went down?
Okay,
it's not the NBA with LeBron or Jordan. I honestly, Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor, they both are expendable. That's reality.
Okay, but what about to Colts fans? To Colts
fans want to win.
You want to talk about the NFL at large? Well, I can say that about any industry at any time. Of course, the world goes on because there's billions of people in the world, and all of this is silly. But it's just sports. But to Colts fans and to your players, I think it does matter, and I think it's okay to say that it matters.
Well, Colts fans don't want smart Colts fans don't want them to overpay for Jonathan Taylor. I really think. I guess casual fans want to pay the running back.
I'm not sure where the overpaying is coming from.
Well, he reportedly asked for $16 million. He wants a big contract.
Okay, well, I would ask for that too. It's called negotiation.
Great, but he won't play for his contract. What are you supposed to do? So you're going to... Nobody's paying any running back. Why would the Colts pay him? Just to be nice?
No. I'm not saying you have to pay him to be nice. I'm not saying you have to give him exactly what he wants. I'm just saying,
give me a number.
This got ugly real fast.
It doesn't matter because they're not. What number do you think that they came?
Saquon Barkley's paying for $11 million, and he had the 5th-year option because he's a first-round draft pick. Jonathan Taylor is not. So Taylor, I don't know if he's a year younger than Saquon is right now.
Yeah, so he's coming into his
year 5, year 4.
Right.
So Saquon's in year 5.
They have him at this cheap price for year 4. Then they could tag him twice. So they have 3 years of control on him. So why should they pay him? Well,
if you want to avoid this headache with one of your star players, that's why.
But what do you say? I mean, honestly, why would a team do that? They know about the running back Zooms. Nobody's paying any running backs, so we're going to be the one exception?
No, but what if you offered a Saquon Barkley level $11 million for 2 years? Because you're going to get it, because that's going to be the franchise tag number.
First of all, he would say no to 11. There's no way Jonathan Taylor, who asked for 16, would say, here's 2 years, $22 million. Do you think Jonathan Taylor was going to take that?
I don't know.
I know he was not.
What,
2 years, $22 million? He would have said no way. He would have held out.
Well, then maybe I would say, okay, but you don't know that. You don't know that. So here we are now with this ugly situation with the Colts and with their star. And the funny thing is nobody's even really expecting the Colts to do much this year. They're under no pressure to win a lot of games because they're starting a rookie quarterback. You have a new head coach. This is supposed to be a turn the page from what was an embarrassment last year. The Jeff Saturday thing, terrible. Did not work. Blew up in everybody's face. And this is supposed to be turn the page and be positive and everyone be in a positive direction. And
honestly, they'd probably be better off if Jonathan Taylor didn't play. They got a high draft pick.
They already have a quarterback.
No, I know, but just get a star defensive end or something. I mean, might as well start building draft picks. And honestly, this is all about Anthony Richardson. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't want to be here for the year 2, 3, 4 of Anthony Richardson, what does this year matter anyway?